down, Delbert man, and he had the script under his arm of Marty. And Bob Aldrich, who was the director of Veracruz, said to him one day, "You mind if I read the script?" Because he came down there to see how it was to shoot outdoors, because he had done nothing but inside the camera, inside of a scenario all the time, inside of a studio. And he said, of course. And he read it. A couple of weeks later at a party, somebody said to Bob Aldrich, "You read the script. Who in your mind could play this role?" He says, "I know of only one person." He said, "That's Ernest Borgnine." "Are you crazy? This man is a killer. He goes around killing people and throws pitchforks into their back and everything. It's crazy, And he said, no, he's an actor. And he can do a good job for you." Well, I finished Veracruz and I was getting ready to make a picture called Bad Day at Black Rock. And they called me in before I went up to Lone Pine, California to do that picture with Spencer Tracy. And they said, "Listen, we got a little part for you that we want you to do called Marty." I said, "Well, I'll be glad to play any part you want." He said, No, you don't understand. We want you to star." And I stopped for a minute because I didn't know what to say. My first picture, starring. And I said, "Do you have faith in me, sir?" "Well, damn it, I wouldn't ask him." I said, "Okay, I'll give you 110%. Said, "Well, we got Delbert Mann and Patty Chayefsky are going to fly up to Lone Pine after a while, and they'll contact you, and we'll see. You read for them." "Okay, fine." Well, I went up and started working with Spencer Tracy and all the rest. And one day up came Delbert Mann and Patty Chayefsky. And I was leaving the set early one afternoon, and Spencer Tracy said, hey, where you going?" He said, "If anybody leaves here early, it's me. I'm the star here, He's kidding, And I said, "Sir," I said, they want me to go down and read." "Read? You don't read anymore." He says, "You're a star." I said, "Out of your mouth to God's ears." And he wanted to know what it was all about, and I told him. I said, "Gee, it sounds interesting." I said, "Yeah, but I'm a little worried." What are you worried about? It's my first role thing. "Don't worry about it." He said, just keep going, don't bump up against the furniture. He said, "Say your words and don't worry about it." Okay. So I went down, and there's Delbert from way back, and "Hi, how are you?" "Hello," and a lot of everything else. And Patty Chayefsky looked at me as if this is Marty. I was all dressed up in a cowboy outfit, with the hat. And right away he said, no. He said, I could see it written right in his eyes. No, this is no good. But I said, "Hey, listen, after I read for you," I said, "Okay, all right, we'll give him a chance." So I started reading. Wait a minute! I forgot the first 6 lessons in acting. I forgot where I was, what I was doing. And I was working, he said, "What the hell's wrong with you?" He says, "You're working with a Western accent, a cowboy." I said, "Moment." So I threw off my hat, rolled up my sleeves, and took off the boots and everything else. I said, "Okay, let's go." And right away became like mud. And so we started reading. He was reading all the other parts, Patty Chayefsky. Delbert was stretched across the bed in my room that we were doing it. And I'm reading away, and pretty soon, we get to the part where, here, try this, try that, and then this and that and the other. Okay. And bam, we kept going. Pretty soon we get to the part where my mother says, "Put on the blue suit or the gray suit, because they've got a lot of tomatoes, And finally I said, "Mom, I'm just an ugly man. Don't you understand? Just an ugly man." And I turned away. And I started to cry. And I came back, and I looked at Patty, and he was crying. I looked over Delbert, and inwardly I said, God damn it, I got it. Now, this is all well and good. And so I got the part, and they said, okay, they were very reserved about it. They didn't want to show any enthusiasm because they were a little afraid of, oh, boy, I'm a star, Anyway, little did we know that we shot up in the Bronx and everything else. And we came back from the Bronx expecting to go to work on our studio at Goldwyn Studios in Hollywood. And there were no sets made. They had no sets at all. And everybody said, what happened? Of course, we shot the whole picture in 14 days. But what happened? Well, these people, Burt Lancaster and Harold Hecht, had decided that they were only going to make half the picture and then shelve it. And the tax man said, whoa, no, wait a minute, you got to finish it, show it one time, and then you can shelve it. So they poured a little more money, $263,000 to make the whole picture. I got $5,000 for the part, but I would have done it for nothing. What the hell? My first starring role. Anyway, when they saw the final cut, I'll never forget, Burton just come back from making his own picture, first and last time as a director. And he picked up Harold Hecht and he said, why didn't you shoot more? He said, they wouldn't let me. And that was it. And that was Marty. And they gave it to a fellow called Walter Seltzer. And Walter started out by showing the picture to manicurists, to barbers, to boot blacks, everybody that could talk about the picture. And finally got up to where they even sent it out to New York to Toots Shor, where Toots Shor saw it and passed it on to the whole Yankee Stadium. And they said, oh God, this is a great picture, you got to go see it. Well, after a while everybody thought it was a rerun. But it finally opened, and they made more money with that bloody picture than they had with any other picture they ever made. And that was Marty. And that's how I got it, and that's how it happened. And now, all of a sudden, they said, hey, you're up for an Academy Award. I said, you got to be kidding. And here I am up against James Dean, who had just got killed, in his car. And I said, if anybody wins, it would either be James Dean or what the hell is his name? Tracy. I thought it was Spencer Tracy. And of course there was, let's see, Frank Sinatra, Man with a Golden Arm. There was James Dean and Jimmy Cagney and Spencer Tracy and myself. And I beat them all.